No, I mean, we did make a change because when you look down the road, there's two reasons. When you look down the road, no matter what, best case scenario, someone's going to have to play at least 2 games in a weekend. So we want someone to have that experience, and really we want to do all we can right now to get a bye. So we're going to start aiming both games on Wisconsin, but then see what happens after that.
With 5 games left and then a big push, hopefully at the end there, who are you relying on the team to kind of keep everyone else even keel and keep them pushing forward?
Well, I mean, David Glenn for sure. All the seniors as well, but I mean, I really think they've been doing a great job all year. I think from day one, they've really helped keep an even keel, and we always get the questions of what you're looking forward to. They've really kept it in the present, and so we're not doing anything different. We're going to rely on them the same way we have all year.
I know you talked before about Kevin Kerr on defense. Can you just kind of talk about how he's developed his role?
I think he just continues to adapt. Like the way he likes to play is to really control the game, and I'm not so sure he knew that he would be able to do that at this level. And I think slowly as the year went on, he went from knowing I can definitely play here to knowing I can be a good player here, and then figuring out, geez, I can play the game I want to play here. And I think that's how, at least what we've seen the past few weekends, he's just really seemed to be just more confident, really wanting to control the game, and that's how I think he likes to play. And I think he's getting the confidence to do that. Yeah, I mean, it was. I think when we were at Michigan State, something sort of happened that weekend for sure. I don't know why, but he just seemed to really take another step then, and it just has continued.
You talked repeatedly, I guess, over the months and years about how both him and Matt are kind of the team first kind of guys.
Yes.
So they reacted to the change that you mentioned earlier.
Well, both very positively. I mean, I think that. Matt's a competitor, and he's had a very good year too. And I think, but he understands that in the playoffs, someone's going to have to play 2 games, and it'd be to our advantage to maybe have that experience earlier. And so that's what we're doing. At the same time, we know that he'll be ready to go when and if he's called upon. But he's very supportive of AIM and very supportive of everything the program is trying to do, and very understanding of the situation. I mean, he's been, I don't know, you don't use this term a lot in college, but he's been very professional about it.
I know this is kind of like jumping ahead a couple weeks, but how crucial is it, when you think about like postseason play, a lot of times the teams that are successful are not necessarily the best ones, but the ones that kind of get hot at the right time.
Correct.
How crucial is it to get kind of everyone in position to start, at least kind of looking at later?
Yeah, looking at it, it's tough because I don't think there really is a formula as to how to peak. I think our strength coach has one. I think you can try to do things that way, but as far as the team, you never really know in terms of injuries and just how things go. Like, I think it's really hard to plan peaks in athletics, but certainly you can off the ice, and I think Cam Davidson has done a great job at that. And then also, obviously, knock on wood, because we have 4 games here left, but it looks like, we'll be getting to be at a point that we'll probably be as healthy as we've been all season. Getting there, not quite there yet, but we're hoping to be. So you just want to do everything you can to set yourself up for that. I don't think there's a real formula as to what you can do to make sure you're peaking, because there's a lot of unknowns such as injuries, but you try to do all you can. And I think we're not disappointed at where we're at in that sense.
As a coach, there's a certain amount of intangible
Yeah.
kind of quality to that.
Yes.
You're judging the temperature of the room. As a coach, you feel confident about that, that these guys are, they have the right mindset and know how to kind of get that ball.
But we still have 2 away series to go, so like a lot can happen. But we like where we are right now. I mean, geez, you look back at what we thought at the start of the year. How are we ever going to score goals with the losses that we had? And you look where we are. You have to be pretty happy. And I think that a lot of that is coming from freshmen who are gelling, and guys. We just had a question about Kevin Kerr coming into his own. So I think a lot of really good things have happened that from our standpoint, that we feel pretty good about where we're heading. Again, there's still 2 big weekends left, and a lot can change. But right now, you know, we've had a weekend off. Guys are getting healthy. They had a great week of lifting. They feel comfortable. They feel strong. So we're pretty happy right now.
Going back to it being pretty much impossible to measure
Yeah.
how to peak a team at
Yeah.
how to get a team to peak at the right time, but what are some of the catalysts that could help push them in the right direction on the ice?
Yeah, one is, well, I think the thing that you really do control is what you do off the ice. And we have Cam Davidson's the absolute best. And I mean, he's had a plan from day one about peaking for the Big Tens, and at the same time having several peaks during Friday, Saturday. He does a tremendous job. So that we feel really comfortable. But a lot of that has to also do with injuries, and that's sometimes very hard to control. So when you talk about peaking for that, you can't just say this is what we're going to do. You can't just call up a bunch of guys from the minors and have them ready to go to make sure that you're healthy. So that's what I mean by that. But what we can control, I think actually in terms of your energy level, I think Cam Davidson is most in control of that, and he does a great job.
It seems like the past few years in the league, the defenseman role has changed from let's get 6 Chris Prongers to stand in front of the net to a much more athletic, faster. And I don't know if it was just because it happened in front of us for the Iowa State series, but it seems like Kevin Kerr's lateral movement is really, I don't want to compare him to Gadowsky, but the same
Correct.
kind of movement.
Yeah.
What makes him good in that regard?
Yeah, so I think what you're seeing in front of your eyes and seeing in college hockey is sort of mirroring what you see in the NHL now as well. And so, I believe in it. In today's game, I think that you just need mobile defensemen, and more so, I think you recognize Kevin Kerr's mobility, but also his vision, how he sees the ice is really the biggest part of it. And when you pair him with a guy like Luke Juha, who sees the ice equally as well, I mean, they can get a lot done. In a different way than the Chris Prongers did in the past. And I think that's the way hockey's going. And you look at a lot of the defensemen, Erik Karlsson is, 4th in the NHL in scoring or something like that. I mean, there's guys that just move pucks and see the ice, and they're becoming a very, very integral part. You look at the Stanley Cup champions, what Duncan Keith did, that sort of mold. And that's what we believe in, and we think Kevin Kerr is right there, as well as, I mean, with several others. Eric Audio, Vince Pedri is doing the same thing, so.
I think that will play a huge role here, kind of if things kind of start to tighten up, knowing that you're able to create chances and put pucks in dangerous areas.
How we play, it's essential, I think, as we get, as we tend to shift more and more to our, a vision what's going to be the end product. I think we require D that can really move pucks and get into play, and I think you're seeing more and more of that.
How did that Juha-Kerr pairing kind of come about? Because I know a lot of coaches, they might try to pair guys who kind of play different style.
Yeah.
Complement each other.
Yeah. So that was a discussion we had, and I really think that's and what we talked about as a coaching staff is that exact question. Is that a strategy of the past? Because in the past, you'd want one big stay-at-home guy and that would stay at home, and another guy that would be going and moving pucks and joining the rush. But the problem is that the guys that like to get pucks and join the rush, they want someone to give them the puck too. So they actually, if you ask them, they always want to play with someone that's like-minded that can give them a puck. So we have that discussion, and that's really that exact question was how we put Luke and Kevin together.
Do you feel like the philosophy defenseman-wise has changed to what you've always wanted, or have you just been able to find the guys that do the things that you want?
Well, really, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we sort of thought similarly to that as well. But now that we're realizing that I think we're our staff philosophy is sort of evolving with hockey, put it that way. But we've always wanted to get up the ice and score goals, and this seems to fit us well.
Offensively, David Goodwin, his evolution sort of in the past, he's been a guy that's been obviously known to score, but he may take a few penalties every once in a while, be sort of undisciplined. But now this year, talk about what he's done to cut back on penalty minutes and sort of lead a team in assists and scoring as well, and having a leadership role on a team with a lot of depth scoring.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest factor there is what you didn't mention is his ability to win battles now and not take penalties. Like before, I think he might have taken some penalties, but they're all like stick penalties and stuff, whereas now he's winning. I mean, he wins battles. Boy, does he win battles. He's increased his battles, I think, more than any other guy we've ever had. And it's something that I think he takes pride in. It's something he's really worked very hard at. And I really think that's the biggest part of what he does and has allowed him to be really successful. It allowed him to play on the line last year, and I think he was underrated on that line. And then this year, you look at what he's done with whoever he plays with. He's just a constant producer, and I think a lot of that isn't just how he thinks the game. You mentioned his assists. He's obviously sees the ice very well, but he wins a lot of battles. He wins a lot of pucks, and that is what I think his leadership role is all about. I mean, I think it's just a great example for everybody. No offense, he's not the biggest guy, but he still manages to win so many battles.
Is he seen as a vocal leader at Tennystown at all in the locker room?
I think that's a question better for the guys, because I don't know when I leave.
How much easier does it make it knowing that you have that stable force where you can produce with anybody that he plays with?
Yeah.
How much easier does it make it to juggle lines up a little bit if you need to?
Well, I think it's you sort of use them when you talk about peaking. To the question earlier, like you always want every line feeling good going in, and again, you don't always control that, but when you have a guy like David that you know that it seems that wherever he goes, offense follows. So if you have in your mind that you need to get a certain pair going, it's nice to have a guy like him because he seems like wherever he goes, offense follows.
In a lot of sports, teams may look at magic numbers so they can sort of see where they are compared to the playoff years. I mean, for you guys, with the week off, it's either you win the Big Ten tournament or maybe sweep Wisconsin, take one from Michigan. With that week off, have you thought about that a little bit?
We do, but we try not to. Like the coach, we're not going to lie to you. The coaches look at it, but we don't introduce that at all to the team. And I'm sure they do, but we don't talk about it. And it doesn't really matter if we have to win, if we have to win all four, or if we get one tie, we're in. It doesn't matter. We're still going to have to play the best that we can every single game and talk about peaking. We're not going to, no matter what at this time you want to do is you want to get on a roll. So it really doesn't matter. And that's how we look at it. I know it's just, again, for us, I know Ben's asked this before, we just really try hard just to focus on Friday night. So I'd be lying to you if I said, yeah, we don't know, we have no idea. We know, but it doesn't and it shouldn't affect how we prepare.
Kind of going off of that, does this mean you're aware that all 5 teams in front of you in the pairwise lost?
No, I had no idea.
Is that sort of a lead by example thing that you guys just mutually nobody talks about it while at practice, or is that something that's directionary among the leaders of the team?
We talked about it at the start of the year, like how we approach it, and we've also it's just sort of been our experience with our staff. We've just sort of always, it never really worked out when we focused too much on what's happening around us, and so we've sort of learned that lesson. So we very consciously keep it in the present, and the guys that have been around us now, David, the Luke Uhas, the David Glens, they understand that very well too. So I think they do a very good job of it also. It's something we do talk about at the start of the year, maintaining, be where you're at, be in the present. So I think they're doing a good job of it.
Is it harder to maintain this close to postseason potential?
I think so. It's always the further down the road you get, the easier it is to scoreboard watch for sure.
Does it help in that sense, though, that there's still a little bit of work to be done from your standpoint? It's not like you go out and lose all 4, like you're still set, you know what I mean?
Right. No, every game's really important. Does it? I mean, I would like to think that we'd be able to do that, stay in the present in whatever situation we are at the end of the year, because you talk about getting ready for the playoffs, peaking. I think it's really important. But certainly, I think everybody is well aware that there's no games to throw, so it shouldn't be difficult.
Anything else?
Have a great week, everyone.